Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 different horror books that you can binge read in one sitting. So a few days ago, I uploaded a video about 5 thrillers that you can binge read in one sitting, and I know that you guys love my thriller recommendations, so I wanted to take it a step further and do the horror version of that today. It's so hard to actually get that out without just saying something else. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about 5 different horror novels that I think that you can read in one sitting. These are all really fast paced. These are keep you on the edge of your seat type of reads that just have you keeping on turning the page and not wanting to put it down. 3 of these books are by the same author in the same series, but it's more of like an anthology series. So it's not like a story that continues on. It's the 3 books are in the same series by the same author, but they're 3 different stories. And I just loved all of them so much, and I think that these books need more recognition. So I definitely wanted to talk to you about them today. We're just going to go ahead and talk about those ones first. And the series is called Diary of a Haunting, and it is by M. Verano. And so the books are, the first one is Diary of a Haunting, the second one is Possession, and the third one is Book of Shadows. And they all follow different girls. These are all about teenage girls, and they're all going through different things in their lives. So we're going to talk about each one separately. So first of all, Diary of a Haunting, and I'm going to read the synopsis of them because I tend to, I read them all one right after the other, and then I don't want to confuse them. So this one says, when Paige moves from LA to Idaho with her mom and little brother after her parents' high-profile divorce, she expects to completely hate her new life, and the small town doesn't disappoint. Worse yet, the drafty old mansion they've rented is infested with flies, spiders, and other pests Paige doesn't want to think about. She chalks it up to her rural surroundings, but it's hard to ignore the strange things happening around the house. From one can of ravioli becoming a dozen to unreadable words appearing on the walls, soon Paige's little brother begins roaming the house at all hours of the night, and there's something not right about the downstairs neighbor who knows a lot more than he's letting on. Things only get creepier when she learns about the sinister cult that conducted experimental rituals in the house almost 100 years earlier. The more Paige investigates and the deeper she digs, the clearer it all becomes. Whatever is in this house, whatever is causing all the strange occurrences, has no intention of backing down without a fight. How creepy does that sound? And I will say with all of these books, they are technically young adult, but I don't think they should be classified as young adult. I mean, they're classified as young adults because they're about teenage girls, right? So anything that's got a teenager as the protagonist, they classify as young adult, but these were scary. I was reading, I think it was the second one, Possession. I was reading this one by myself at night, and I was actually spooked. I was actually scared, and it takes a lot to scare me because I find that I've kind of become desensitized to it because I read so much thriller and horror content, and that's all that I watch as well. If I'm going to watch a movie, which is rare, I will usually be watching a horror movie. So I kind of get desensitized to it, so it takes a lot to scare me, and I was actually scared. So I think these should get a higher rating, a more of a mature young adult rating, just so that you know that going into it. So that one, really, really creepy. The second book, like I said, is called Possession. And this one says, all her life, Letitia has wanted to be a star. It's more than an ambition. Somewhere deep inside, she feels certain that she was born for greatness. But the path to stardom now seems to be halted by the mysterious undiagnosed illness that's taken over her body. Doctors don't have a clue what could be causing it. She stays home from school most days, documenting her strange symptoms. Symptoms that start with fevers and chills, but soon escalate to strange items of her body seems to be producing. Bones, nails, and even glass. So she throws up these items, and she's throwing up bones, and she's throwing up glass that obviously she hasn't eaten. Very creepy. All the while, Letitia is fixated on what's happening in the news. Race riots that are moving ever closer to her neighborhood. But when visions of horrific scenes begin to invade her mind, even the media can't distract her. As Letitia's illness worsens, she soon begins to wonder, is her sickness biological, or is it something more? Are the voices she hears signs of insanity, or signs of something much more sinister and demonic? Or perhaps signs of something more benevolent, something holy? Letitia always knew she'd be a star. She just never knew how quickly it would all manifest. So again, these are all completely different stories. Same series, completely different scenarios. And then the last one, which also, you guys, this book, Okay. How creepy is this? Hopefully you guys can see it because I'm pretty far away. Look at this creepy cover. I really hope you guys can see this. I'm really far away. Yeah, it's just a bunch of eyes. So that's creepy in and of itself. So this one follows Melanie, and it says, all Melanie wants is a blank book where she can keep a journal of her private thoughts. One day, while browsing in a used bookshop, she finds the perfect blank book, smooth black leather with strange symbols embossed in gold. Her Wiccan friend Laura tells her it's a better suited to be a magical spell book called the Book of Shadows. Melanie doesn't know much about that stuff, but Laura, her boyfriend Caleb, and his friend Lucas get her started by writing their own made-up spells inside the book's tempting pages. What they didn't expect was a new spell showing up inside the book, a handwriting none of them recognizes. Soon they'll realize that the spell suggested by the Book of Shadows works, but not without wreaking havoc on the lives of the 4 teenagers. So this is the one that was the least scary out of the 3, and it kind of reminded me, if you ever watched Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like when I was growing up, that was all the rage, was Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps. It kind of almost reminded me of that, but a little bit scarier and a little bit more mature. Basically, she starts writing spells in this book, and the spells happen, but with like dire consequences. So the spells happen in ways that she's not intending for them to happen. And it's like, it's one of those like, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it sort of scenarios. But there's definitely some creepy scenes in here as well. So like I said, these are 3 books by the same author. I really, really enjoyed all of them. I wish that this author would have continued making these. I think the last one was published first a while ago. Like, I don't think they're going to be making any more because they probably would have been out by now. Let's check here. Yeah, 2017 this was published. So I imagine that if the author was planning to write more, that they already would have. But I guess you never know. I wish there would have been more because I really enjoyed all 3 of these, and I really wanted to just like sit down and just devour them all. And also, one of the major selling points of these books is that there are like mixed media pages in them. So there's like pictures throughout the books as well, like creepy pictures. You get like, so it has like a diary. So there's that as well, which I always really, really like when there's stuff like that in these books. And that's in all 3 of them too. The next book that we're going to talk about is The Women in the Walls by Amy Lucavics. I always want to say Lucavics. And this one is a really, really interesting read. And it's like basically about the power of womanhood and, you know, generations of women kind of sticking together. Do you hear them calling? Lucy Acosta's mother died when she was 3. Growing up in a Victorian mansion in the middle of the woods with her cold, distant father, she explored the dark hallways of the estate with her cousin Margaret. They're inseparable, a family. When her Aunt Penelope, the only mother she's ever known, tragically disappears while walking in the woods surrounding their estate, Lucy finds herself devastated and alone. Margaret has been spending a lot of time in the attic. She claims she can hear her dead mother's voice whispering from the walls. Emotionally shut out by her father, Lucy watches helplessly as her cousin's sanity slowly unravels. But when she begins hearing voices herself, Lucy finds herself confronting an ancient and deadly legacy that has marked the women in her family for generations. So we follow this girl. She is like absolutely and utterly alone. Like I said, she lost her mother when she was a baby, and you know, she's grown up with her aunt and her cousin. And now her aunt has gone missing. Her cousin has absolutely no help. Her cousin has just shut herself away and is like slowly succumbing to madness. And then she starts to hear these voices too, and she starts to wonder if she is going crazy or what is happening. And we follow her on this journey as she tries to figure out what's gone on, where the women in her family went, and what's been happening in this house. So there's a lot of creepy scenes in here as well. There's a lot of scenes where it seems like there's possession going on, so definitely creepy as well. The last book that we're going to talk about today is What the Dead Want by Nora Olsen. A love of photography, an old camera, and countless questions. These are all that 16-year-old Gretchen has left of her mother, who mysteriously disappeared years ago. Now she must return to the place where her mom vanished, a decaying mansion that Gretchen has suddenly inherited from her great aunt Esther. That is one of my favorite tropes, by the way, is somebody inheriting an old mansion and it's like haunted. One of my favorite things. However, Gretchen won't find the answer she's seeking without unraveling the secrets that lurk inside the house. There are stacks of photographs and letters from her ancestors that go back centuries, pointing to some kind of haunting past. But when proof of the mansion's dark history appears to Gretchen in the form of ghostly visions and the soft, eerie whisper of her mother's voice, there is no doubt that something sinister has taken place there. No matter how scared she might be, Gretchen must somehow uncover the reasons why this indescribable force has descended upon her family and find a way to set everyone, even the dead, free. How creepy does that sound, you guys? So you guys, those are 5 young adult, I guess. Yeah, they're all young adult. 5 young adult horror 5 young adult horror novels that I think that you can get through in one sitting with a big cup of coffee and just like pour through these books because they are that good. You will not want to put them down, and I can pretty much guarantee that you will enjoy them. If you've ever read them, make sure and let me know in the comments down below what you thought about them. And if you're going to add any of them to your TBRs, let me know that too. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Subscribe on your way out if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.